wondered how vast sums of illicit money just seem to vanish into thin air, only to reappear clean on the other side? It's not always about suitcases full of cash or complex shell corporations. Sometimes the answer is hiding in plain sight in the very goods and products that cross our borders every day. This is the world of trade-based money laundering, or TBML, and it's one of the most sophisticated and difficult to detect methods used by criminal organizations. So what exactly is it? At its core, TBML is the process of disguising the proceeds of crime and moving value through the use of trade transactions. Instead of moving cash, criminals move goods. They manipulate invoices, shipment contents, and company documents to make dirty money look like legitimate profit from international trade. It's a massive global problem, estimated to involve hundreds of billions, maybe even trillions of dollars each year. It's complex, it's sneaky, and it fuels criminal activities worldwide. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this invisible threat. We'll break down the 4 main techniques, look at some real-world examples, and understand why it's so challenging for authorities to stop. Let's start with the first and most common method, over and under invoicing. Imagine a criminal organization needs to send $1 million from country A to an associate in country B. They can set up 2 import-export companies. The company in country B will export a shipment of, say, cheap t-shirts to the company in country A. From the above scenario, how shall the companies execute their intended money laundering? Yes, company in country B will write their invoices in value under the actual one. For example, each t-shirt actually costs US $5, but the invoice is showing US $3 in each t-shirt. So what happens when 10,000 pieces of t-shirts are exported? US $10,000 multiplied by 2 US dollar will constitute US $20,000 in each shipment. If the exporter in country B makes 10 shipments in 2 months, the amount of under-invoicing will stand at 200,000 and yearly it will be 1.2 million US dollar. This is huge, right? What happens in the flip side of the coin? Importer in the country A cleared the customs paying the duties at the rate of 3 US dollar in each t-shirt. The importer first evaded the taxes of the country A and then laundered the cash to the accounts of the exporter, those maintained in country A or might pay cash. Or even the importer may purchase other asset in the importer's country A by the laundered cash. The exporting country definitely lost foreign currency and the importing country loses tax and other revenues. In collaboration of exporter and importer, such transactions happen and the importer, on behalf of the exporter, may transfer the excess to any third country where AML compliance legislation is loose or relaxed. Even both of them intend to invest the laundered amount to any terrorist activities in worse cases. Now let us discuss about the scenario of over-invoicing that is reversed to under-invoicing. But intention is same, that is launder money to other jurisdiction than the importing country by documents mechanism. For example, an importer of country A is importing some capital machinery from country B for heavy industry. Suppose these machines are second-hand machinery. Exporter from country B will quote extremely high price than the actual value of the goods that is arranged with importer in country A. Importer in country A then issue the LC with a bank country A at the price quoted in the sales contract or pro forma invoice. Issuing bank is in dilemma to decide the actual price since the machines are second-hand and there is no tools for verification of the price. Issuing bank then issues the credit. Accordingly, the confirming bank, if any, or the nominated bank negotiate the documents. If the nominated bank does not negotiate, it sends the documents, and here also price verification fails. Thus, the issuing bank, upon receipt of compliant documents, complete payments, and a huge amount might be siphoned to the exporter's country. Such type of over-invoicing is frequently happened in the services or commodities like software cells, design and development works, management services, artworks, precious metals, jewelry, and many more alike. Banks may preserve their long historical data to prevent such events massive in nature. Moreover, national data reservation process and open data by statistical departments might reduce the over-invoicing. Next up, we have multiple invoicing. This one is as simple as it sounds. The exporter issues more than one invoice for the same shipment of goods. How does it work? Yes, for the same shipment of goods or services, invoices are issued in manifolds or multiple times. Each invoice looks legitimate on its own, but together they exaggerate the value of the trade. Then different financial institutions or entities process payments for these duplicate invoices. This creates several streams of money movement for a single shipment, making it difficult to detect laundering. It creates cross-border complexity. Since the international trade often involves multiple jurisdictions, customs authorities and banks sometimes fail to detect that the same goods is being invoiced repeatedly. The primary purpose of multiple invoicing is to move a larger amount of illicit money across borders and into the hands of criminals or terrorist financiers under the guise of legitimate international trade. The difference between the actual value of the goods and the total amount of money transferred represents the laundered funds. The other specific purposes are: launder illicit funds by disguising them as legitimate trade payments, facilitate tax evasion or embezzlement, and move money across borders without triggering suspicion. The process flow of multiple invoicing looks like simple but very difficult to trace. Some examples of such process are: 1. The process starts with dirty money from criminal activities that needs to be integrated into the legitimate financial system. 2. The importer and exporter agree to process a single shipment of goods but create multiple invoices and supporting documentation for it. 3. The importer then uses these various invoices to make several payments, often through different banks, to the exporter's account as each payment appears to correspond to a separate legitimate trade transaction, but they all relate to the same shipment. And 4. By using multiple invoices and potentially involving multiple financial institutions, the criminals make it difficult for any single bank or authority to identify the overpayment or the redundant documentation, thus obscuring the money trail. This typology is distinct from other methods like over or under invoicing, where the value of a single invoice is manipulated, or phantom shipments, where no goods exist at all. Then there's the phantom shipment. This is where things get even more brazen. With phantom shipments, there are no goods at all. The entire transaction is a fabrication. The exporting and importing companies are both controlled by the same criminal network. They create all the necessary documents: a purchase order, an invoice, a bill of lading, insurance papers. Everything looks completely legitimate. The importing company then makes a payment for these non-existent goods. The money is transferred, washed clean, and no product ever has to cross a border. This method is risky because if customs decides to do a physical inspection of the shipping container and finds it empty or filled with junk, the whole scheme collapses. However, with millions of containers moving globally every day, the odds of any single one being inspected are relatively low, a gamble that criminals are often willing to take. Again, illicit cash integration in trade transaction is alarming. Criminals often need a way to integrate illicit cash into the financial system. Various methods exist to help them achieve this. including black market peso exchange schemes, cooperation between criminals looking to dispose of illicit cash, the exploitation of surrogate shopping networks, and the infiltration of legitimate supply chains. Let us talk about misrepresentation of quality or quantity, also known as the black market peso exchange model, which is a bit more complex. This is where the invoice might actually reflect the fair market price, but what's inside the container doesn't match. For example, a company might order a shipment of high-end smartphones, but instead receives a container full of cheap knockoff phones or even just bricks. The importer pays the full price for the expensive smartphones with their illicit funds. The exporter in another country receives the clean money. The importer can then discard the worthless goods. The loss on the goods is simply the cost of laundering the money. A more sophisticated version is the black market peso exchange, often used by drug cartels. A cartel in, say, Colombia has millions of US dollars in drug money that they need to bring back home and convert to pesos. Meanwhile, a legitimate Colombian business person needs to buy goods from the US. A money broker connects them. The Colombian business person gives their pesos to the broker's agent in Colombia. The broker then uses the cartel's drug dollars in the US to purchase the goods the business person needs and has them shipped to Colombia. The business person gets their goods, the cartel gets clean pesos in their home country, and the broker takes a cut. It's a triangle of trade that cleans dirty money by piggybacking on legitimate business needs. So why is this so hard to combat? There are three main reasons. First, the sheer volume. The global trade system is vast and moves at an incredible speed. Customs and financial institutions are overwhelmed. It's like trying to find a single grain of sand on an entire beach. They rely on automated systems and risk indicators, but sophisticated criminals know how to stay under the radar. Second, the complexity. TBML often involves multiple companies, various jurisdictions, and complex documentation, all designed to obscure the true nature of the transaction. It's a web that is intentionally difficult to untangle. And third, the convergence of legitimate and illicit activity. Among other TBML typologies are third-party intermediaries, false described goods and services, over and under shipments are worth mentioning but not limited to. In a transaction through third-party intermediaries, criminals penetrate legitimate supply chains by paying for the goods through the involvement of a previously unknown third party, usually the company responsible for integrating criminal cash in the transaction. When goods or services are described falsely, this involves the misrepresentation of the quality or type of a good or service, such as the shipment of a relatively inexpensive good, which is described as a more expensive item, or an entirely different item, to justify value movement. Over and under shipment is all alike. Over and under invoicing, where goods are shipped but mismatches with the documents when physically verified. This technique involves the misrepresentation of the quantity of goods or services, including phantom shipments where no product is moved at all. The importer and exporter are both complicit in this technique. Unlike other forms of money laundering, TBML is embedded within the real legal economy. A transaction might be 95% legitimate, with only a 5% inflation in price to launder funds, making it nearly impossible to distinguish from a normal commercial deal. The fight against trade-based money laundering requires unprecedented international cooperation. It means customs agencies, tax authorities, financial intelligence units, and banks all need to share information seamlessly across borders. New technologies like AI and data analytics are becoming crucial tools, helping to spot anomalies in trade data that a human analyst might miss by analyzing massive datasets of prices, shipping routes, and company histories, these systems can flag high-risk transactions for further investigation, but ultimately it also comes down to vigilance from the private sector. Banks and shipping companies are on the front lines and play a critical role in identifying and reporting suspicious activity. Trade-based money laundering is a quiet, pervasive threat that enables some of the world's worst criminal activities. By understanding how it works, we can all become more aware of the hidden challenges in our global economy. It's a complex battle, but one that is essential for building a safer and more transparent world. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this breakdown interesting and want to learn more about the hidden mechanics of the world, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or other topics you would like me to cover. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.